Hello and welcome to day 19 of our Lent 40-day reading plan. I hope you've gotten a lot out of this as we have read the scriptures together and shared a few words together. And today we're reading from three gospels, or actually two gospels rather. And we're going to begin with Matthew chapter 11, verse 19. The Son of Man came eating and drinking, and they say, "Here is a glutton and a drunkard, a friend of tax collectors and sinners." But wisdom is proved right by her deeds. And now over to the Gospel of Luke, and we'll begin with verse 7, 36 through 39. When one of the Pharisees invited Jesus to have dinner with him, he went to the Pharisee's house and reclined at the table. A woman in that town who lived a sinful life learned that Jesus was eating at the Pharisee's house. So she came there with an alabaster jar of perfume. As she stood behind him at his feet weeping, she began to wet his feet with her tears. Then she wiped them with her hair, kissed them, and poured perfume on them. When the Pharisee who had invited him saw him, he said to himself, "If this man were a prophet, he would know who is touching him and what kind of woman she is, that she is a sinner." And then Luke 5, 29 through 32. Then Levi held a great banquet for Jesus at his house, and a large crowd of tax collectors and others were eating with him. But the Pharisees and the teachers of the law who belonged to their sect complained to the disciples, "Why do you eat and drink with tax collectors and sinners?" And Jesus answered, "It is not the healthy who need a doctor, but the sick. I have not come to call the righteous, but sinners to repentance." I think you see a common theme in these scriptures, this idea of Jesus and sinners, and ultimately Jesus embracing sinners, but also sinners embracing Jesus. And there's something about Jesus that's attractive that, people who have a sinful life, people who have a sinful story, find him attractive and find something about him that pulls them in. And I think ultimately that's what Jesus came for. Jesus didn't come for the righteous, but Jesus came for sinners. So two things happens in the presence of Jesus. Number one, sinners are attracted to Jesus. But number two, we're all sinners. None of us are righteous. We're all sinners. And we see that and know that most clearly when we are in the presence of Jesus. And, if we're in the presence of Jesus and following him and don't acknowledge our sinfulness and our brokenness, then we don't really understand the nature of Jesus and his power and his holiness. So as we continue to journey through the season of Lent, that's good news. That's good news. It's good news that Jesus embraces sinners, because you know what that means? That means Jesus embraces me and Jesus embraces you. Thanks for joining. God bless.